My name is Dianna-Maria Somtochukwu, and I'm an abstract artist and expressionist. I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria right now, and I like to see myself as someone who likes to explore. So I started drawing when I was like 8 years old, when I was in primary school, but it became more defined in high school, when our biology teacher would give us assignments on diagrams about the plant cell or the animal cell, and my classmates would bring the assignments to me to do their sketches for them because they thought I was actually good at drawing, and I didn't even realize it, but every single time they kept on bringing their works to me, and that sparked like a consciousness. Maybe I'm actually good at this, or maybe I'm actually very creative and I'm not aware of it. So I started taking notes of those situations, and I started taking an interest in drawing more, in trying to better myself, my lines, my form, and imagery as a whole. I feel like I've had so many turning points, but the one that stood out to me would be during COVID, the COVID year. It was like a great pause that happened, and I wasn't really established as an artist then. I was still in school, and I've always wanted to do painting, but according to my lecturer, I wasn't qualified because I wasn't really painting, and he wasn't aware of my abilities as an artist, So during that COVID year, I had ample time on my side to reflect, to think, to make a decision like, who do you want to be as an artist? Okay, you love painting, what are you doing about it? You have time now. So I decided to get materials, like buy canvases, buy colors, because I did not know what color was. I thought it was magic. I wasn't used to it. I didn't feel like I had a supportive space to paint, to experiment. I feel like it was very closed off. So I had to break those barriers, painting by myself in my room, just watching videos, experimenting with other materials apart from paint brushes. Like I use the palette knife to paint. So that was a turning point in my career. And the sales that I made, it was like a light bulb in the dark, And from then it's been onward ever, My greatest artistic influence, and I don't want to sound cocky or proud, I think it comes from inside me, because I wasn't really in a space of artists that I felt like I could relate to. I feel like people were just doing their own thing and everybody wants to roll with people they can relate with, And I felt like it was a very private, luxurious circle. For you to enter, you need to prove yourself and what you can do. So I wasn't really inspired by all that. I was inspired by my spirit, what I wanted to do. The spirit inside me, a Holy Spirit, I have a Holy Spirit within me. It taught me things that I didn't know. It made me see art differently than just artworks and colors, It made me realize that I can use art to tell my story, to express how I feel, and to connect with people on a deeper level, spiritually, but with art, and not the usual sermons or something boring, I think I would describe my works as, or my technique as heavy in pastel. I like applying colors and layers on my canvases because I love the 3D feel that it gives. I think it connects better with the viewers, or it captures their attention, It's not plain, there's a lot happening there and you want to know what's going on, you want to see more. I want people to feel like they can reach out to my works or try to know what I'm thinking of or why I make my works look the way they look. I know how I feel when I look at works that have heavy texture and form, I feel like it's deeper than just art, I feel like you're trying to say something deep, by applying so much and making it work in a way that you wouldn't think it would work, because people don't really understand just applying colors and all that's going on. They want figures that they can relate to. They want something that they understand at one glance But I want you to challenge your thinking, open your mind, be ready to receive, because I feel like art is about giving. Be ready to receive and just don't look at what you already know. I feel like most of my ideas come to me when I'm maybe going through a phase or something. Sometimes I feel so depressed in as much as I can't go screaming that I'm feeling this way, or I deal with challenges that are normal, I deal with life. And I feel like, so most times I actually don't have it planned out because I love to be in the moment. And I think being in the moment is so original because things flow in, and mood changes. So I might be feeling maybe happy when I'm making the sketch, and during the process I might be feeling disappointed. So I like to go with the raw feelings, of how I feel when I'm making my work. So most times I just make textures, like I apply heavy paints, then let it dry, then I apply more paints, I let it dry again, then I apply more colors, I let it dry, so that there's a contrast of colors that don't make any sense, but still make sense, if you get what I'm saying. So it's very challenging because sometimes what I have in mind is not what I always see as the end result. And that is what I love about creating in the moment, because I feel like the energies that I receive, sometimes I cry, sometimes I pray, sometimes I sing, sometimes I shout, sometimes I run around the studio like, why is it not looking nice? It's not giving what I want people to feel. Like, I know when my work is finished, when I look at it and I'm surprised, and it's not looking like what I thought it would be, then I'm like, yeah, my artistic style wasn't created in a day. In fact, I didn't even know what I was going to do as an artist, I would Google up pictures. Okay, let me see what's trending right now. Let me see the nice things people like to see. And I would copy it, Black art, I would copy exactly what I saw. And I was like, this is not working out. I felt incomplete, So I got tired of that. So I said, what, let me just play around with colors. Let me just do something different. Okay, I know how this goes. Let me just do another thing. What is even abstract art? Like, why are people not talking about this? So that's what kind of sparked my interest. And I said, let me just study this and walk around colors. And the feedback I received was different. People were like, oh, I think this is more your style. Like, it's really good and it's different. And I was like, really? It's really good and different. How come nobody is saying this? So I kept on practicing more abstract imagery. Before, I wasn't really into textures because, I was still trying to figure it out. I was still doing regular designs that were abstracted, not trying to leave the canvas. Like, I just make straight designs and stay there. I was still confined in what I thought abstract art was. But during my process, the years, I managed to push the boundaries, I can do a line like this and it makes sense to me because that line is something, whether you think it's not, it is, that's how I'm feeling at that moment. It could be a full stop. It could be a continuation of something that I'm feeling inside. And I think it counts, because people should be able to emote how they feel. So as you can see, my style is so spiritual, it's very Christian, it's very spirited, because I believe before something happens in the physical realm, it must have happened in the spiritual realm. Before something happens outside, it must have taken place inside. So the main inspiration behind this body of work that I'm making would be about the renewing of mind. I think my mind experienced a breakthrough. I've always felt like I don't know what love is and who's going to love me. I've looked for love in the wrong places. I've been searching for something that's it's not superficial. You can't find it because it's inside all of us, And when I realized this love that's always been inside of me, the love of God, the love of Christ, I realized who I was, and I don't need to run around to feel complete or fulfilled or loved as a human being it's been there the whole time. I just had to realize. And this love I'm talking about is the love of God, actually. Yeah, it is the love of God, not the love of self or the love of human beings, the love of God, because that is the source of love. And when I realized that, it changed me as a person. It changed my life. So during the making of this works, I just felt so greatly loved. It was as if it opened up this can of emotions that I thought I'd experienced before. But no. When I was making this works, I felt like I didn't even know how much loved I was, you know. They just flowed. You know, the colors, the emotions. As an African artist, whatever style I choose to practice on makes my work African because of my descent. So I think people need to study more before you make conclusions. Abstract art is not limited to tribe or race. It's art, you know. And if you can feel like making forms are not defined, I can as well feel the same way. And it just makes us artists, you know. I feel like every human is connected to art one way or the other. Some people just don't know, while some people know. So I don't think abstract art is westernized art. I think it's just art. There's no African or westernized or European or American. Is art, you know. Success to me as an artist would be consistency, would be practicing, would be being so passionate about what you do, knowing why you do it, your purpose. I think it's more than the money or the wealth, because along the line they would still come and it's superficial. I like something that's internal that you can hold on to, you know, from inside. Being a successful artist to me is growing, is accepting challenges, is evolving, is wanting more, is pushing boundaries, is practicing, wanting to be better, you know, looking forward to a bigger picture, expecting more. Normally, sometimes I actually have works that I prefer, but in this body of work, I feel like every piece is so important because they all connect deeply to what I'm feeling and what I'm trying to express. So I think my appreciation is shared greatly towards all of them. But I like the ones with the bright contrast, you know. I think it captures your attention, you know, and I think it makes you want to know more, you know, why I'm using these colors, why it looks like this, why the forms are how they look like, or is this an animal? I like the wanting to know more. I like the challenging picture that it gives you than the regular, oh, okay, I know what this is. I think it's great that I know what this is. I want you to look deeper. I want you to open your mind, you know, challenge yourself. The most challenging part would be, like I said, going through my emotions when I'm making these works. Sometimes I'm in high spirits when, okay, the canvas is blank and I can do anything I want. But with application of colors, with application of textures, it gets challenging. Sometimes I get discouraged, you know, and I need to take a break or I need to do something, get my head off and come back renewed with another idea, with another perspective. And I think working on a broad canvas is a whole lot of work. And this is like the first time I decided to do this kind of design on a broad work. So I decided to take it as a challenge, you know, when I was telling you of my sizes. I don't usually work on these sizes, but I said, let me see how this is going to look like. Let me push, you know. I kept on feeling different things and I wanted to capture all of it in the artwork. So that was very challenging for me. The easiest part of me making these artworks would be maybe when I'm not even thinking and I'm just going with the flow. You know, sometimes I hear the spirit in me mix these colors, I think they'll be great. And I'm not thinking, I'm just following what I'm hearing. I'm just mixing colors. And I'm not saying this line will go this way. I just put my hand there and I just make the lines and it comes out really nice. Sometimes I'm in that mood, I don't even think, and I make them. I think the biggest part or what I want people to take home when they look at my works would be conviction. I want people to be strongly convicted, about what I'm saying. I want people to look deeper. I've always been saying this because I don't mean to sound offensive, but I think people should try to know who they are and their purpose of being here on earth. I want people to be convicted about identity. I want people to look deeper than what the eyes can see. I want people to not just see art as colors on canvas, see it as a message, see it as connection, see it as a medium of me showing love in a way that I can. The biggest lesson I've learned as a young artist would be to push. I just have 2 words: to push. I really did not want to continue because it was so discouraging. It was so bad, I did not know what colors were. I thought it was magic. Like, I see people mixing colors. I'm like, how do you know what colors make purple? How do you know what colors make brown? So if I had limited myself then, like, okay, you know what, this is difficult and I'm not going to do it, I would have been where I was. So I pushed, So I've been pushing and I'm still pushing, whether the galleries come or the buyers come, I'm pushing because I know where I'm headed. I know what I'm here for. I know what I'm doing and I know where I'm going. So keep pushing. It might not look like it. It might not feel like it, but keep pushing. I think when you have that mindset that if you push, you would move, I think you'd be more inspired or encouraged to keep on doing what you do. So just keep pushing.